Home sweet home. Sanctuary, shelter, haven. Home is where the heart is, where we lay our weary heads to rest, where we find peace, quiet, tranquility. But how safe are you really in your own home? How secure are you, a law-abiding citizen of the United States, from the reach of unwarranted intrusions, whimsical searches of your home and person, and unlawful seizures and confiscations of your property by law enforcement and the courts? Not very safe, not very secure.
2742, copy code 3 from Golden Hill 46.
April 22nd, 2008, 1:50 p.m. San Luis Obispo Sheriff's dispatchers broadcast a call. Shots have been fired. First to respond is Deputy Darren Murphy. With red lights and siren blaring, Murphy prods his patrol vehicle towards the scene of the reported incident, a private residence just east of the Paso Robles city limits. A few minutes later, Murphy hears that he is being joined en route by two other deputies, Matt Terrell and Jay Wells.
Charles 7, I'll be en route from Station 22 also.
10-4.
22.41, 10-8 en route. Back.
10-4.
An update from the dispatcher raises the stakes.
2752, looking at the call, it says that one of the RPs advises she sees a male sitting between a boat and a truck.
The call has now escalated into something a bit more serious. Man with gun.
21 Adam 11.
That man with a gun is longtime county resident Matt Hart, doing something he's done for years from this very same spot. Sight and fire his single-shot .22 caliber rifle at a target located on an isolated corner of his 2+ acre property. Bird and wild pig hunting is commonplace in this unincorporated rural area, and until now, Hart's activity has posed, for him, no problem. But the converging sheriff's deputies, of course, are not armed with this knowledge. They are, however, heavily armed. Even before his arrival at the scene, Deputy Murphy has determined his course of action.
I have to know myself if I'm on a charging man.
52, copy you, 51, charging and charging.
41, 197.
10-4.
Okay, Matt, you see this mobile home down here? There's a boat and a truck right there.
Got it.
Subject's still between the boat and the truck. He's immediately on your right.
Copy, subject still between the boat and the truck.
Well, the first car was driven by Darren Murphy, and when he got to my front gate, he started yelling, "Hey, buddy, hey, buddy."
Hey, buddy! Hey! Hey!
This ear was totally plugged up, and I couldn't hear out of this ear, so I saw the dogs. My dogs took off running towards the gate barking.
Sheriff's Department, put your hands up! Drop the rifle! Put the rifle down!
With my gun like this, I walked past and looked around the front of this hood.
Put your hands up and walk towards us! Now! Put your hands up in the air!
Put my hands back in the air and started walking towards him.
Keep coming, man! Do not do anything stupid!
So Citizen Hart promptly did something, well, not very smart. Almost got him shot.
Keep coming! Don't do anything stupid. Okay? Turn around. Stop! Stop!
I twisted my lower torso, keeping my front towards him, and I yelled out, "I am reaching for my cell phone with 2 fingers," and I held them up like this.
Turn around. Turn around. Don't reach for a goddamn thing!
And went down very slowly and pulled out my cell phone and looked at them all and said, "Cell phone," at the top of my lungs.
You move, you're done, buddy. Okay. What an asshole. I think we need to go and clear the house.
Deputy Murphy now makes two separate decisions. The first is that Matt Hart has, in the deputy's opinion, evolved from citizen to subject to asshole, a determination virtually guaranteeing that Hart will be arrested. Murphy's second decision is to enter Hart's home. As you will soon see, Murphy will think of a reason later. After all, there is the matter of the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution.
Well, I know one of my neighbors said that they tried kicking the back door in.
Sheriff's Department, is anyone home?
Sheriff's Department! Sheriff's Department, come out, make yourself known! I got doors left, living room right.
Okay, where do we go?
Then Murphy and the other deputies found something that greatly interested them. A locked gun safe in Hart's bedroom. But they needed the keys.
A sheriff came out and asked me for the keys to my house, and I said, what for? And he said, give me the keys to your house again. And I said, I'm not authorizing you to go in and search my house. It goes against every single constitutional right you got right there. They have no business being in my house.
No, they do.
No, they don't.
Well, that's your opinion.
Again, he asked me for the keys, and I again said, I am not authorizing you to go in and search my house unless you tell me what it is you're looking for and why. And he reached down and grabbed hold of the keys off my belt loop, such as this, jerked them off, and said, we don't need any warrants. We can do anything we want. I'm on 2 acres of my own land, and you guys come here pointing AR-15s and M16s at me.
Shots are fired. We got to make sure that everybody's all right.
What are you doing in my house?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not there right now.
What are you doing?
And now this story gets really interesting for everyone except Matt Hart. So what's at issue here? The Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution reflects this nation's collective effort to allow its citizens a place free of malicious trespass by government officials. The amendment is brief and to the point. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Well, that's the law of the land, but the law's actual practice is often quite different. When the Fourth Amendment was ratified, there was no such thing as an organized police force in America. Since then, critical compromises of the Fourth Amendment have been created by whimsical actions of police and an enabling judiciary. Okay, what's happened here? Hart is handcuffed on the ground and being watched by Deputy Terrell. Deputies Murphy and Wells and Detective Twisselman have entered Hart's house, without permission, as part of their investigation into a report of gunshots fired. Inside, they have seen a locked gun safe. After taking Hart's keys from him, the deputies gain access to the safe. Murphy consults here with Detective Eric Twisselman, and a discussion about the search legality ensues.
You're the detective. You need a warrant to get into that gun safe?
I don't think under
Exigent circumstances?
exigent circumstances.
Exigent circumstances are those circumstances that would cause a reasonable person to believe that entry was necessary to prevent physical harm to officers or other persons, destruction of relevant evidence, or escape of a suspect. So having already entered the house and broken into the safe under some yet-to-be-determined exigent circumstances, the deputies continue to forage through the Hart residence.
There should be a woman here.
Well, I was just about to say I found some panties.
It's raw here.
The deputies soon turned their attention to the contents of the newly opened gun safe.
That is a nice, very nice piece of ornament. And there's one in the chamber.
51, subject Hart is valid
Let me
and clear.
1100.
8 weapons registered to him.
Semi-auto?
He's got 8 weapons registered.
Okay. Check these out.
There's a whole nother
M1A1?
M14.
Oh, it's that M14. Oh, there's a Mini 14.
Yeah, Mini
Okay. Okay. And then he's got, I'm not sure if it's an 1100 or 1187, but I want exactly this. He's got a couple of very nice firearms in that safe. Who's that?
We don't
I
take
closed-
everything?
I'd say so. He's got like an M1A, a really nice semi-auto 12 gauge with pistol grip.
In order for law enforcement to get into our homes, they've got to have a warrant.
San Luis Obispo attorney Louis Corey.
A warrantless search of someone's home is presumed to be illegal. So there's a presumption that has to be overcome. And really the presumption doesn't have to be overcome by the citizen in court. It's really, the burden is on the police, in this case the deputy sheriffs, to justify what they did.
Perhaps you can argue an exigency as far as going in and making sure that no one was, since you did have some guns involved and firing of guns, to go in, clear the house, make sure nobody else is in there that poses a hazard. I don't have a problem with that. But to go to the next step of acquiring keys and opening, locked containers in the house is, from all of my experience, it wasn't prudent, and it doesn't reflect well on law enforcement when people do that.
You are about to eavesdrop on a conversation between deputies as they cavalierly begin to manufacture their reasons for having gone into this house and the gun safe.
Just get your brain going. What was the exigency for entering the house?
Bodies. Well, no, exigency. As far as I'm concerned, we go in the house.
Exigency
We don't
for
know.
bodies, exigency for seizing firearms is a different story.
No, but we've got the negligent discharge and brandishing and stuff like that. So we take the guns as safekeeping. At the very least, he's got to get a judge's order to get them back.
Take the guns as safekeeping?
A deputy returns to the house after inspecting the property and tells Deputy Murphy there are only targets down there. This doesn't please Murphy at all.
There are targets down there.
Okay, are there any houses over there?
Well, off to the right.
I saw a car driving back there. So that's an area where there are houses and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, screw them, negligent discharge.
Another deputy compares the entry of Hart's home to that of Los Angeles Police Detective Mark Furman when he jumped over a fence at the estate of O.J. Simpson in 1994.
Furman and what were those guys that went over the wall that
Wow.
they couldn't articulate on the stand when they were being questioned by the defense.
We pulled a Furman. Who knows? This guy's shooting across. He's firing guns. He acts to fight when the police show up. He could have just killed his entire family.
My only thoughts on this deal is if we start digging more looking for hidden guns, because we've already found one, and ammo, we're going to need to paper it. I mean, the exigency only lasts until we get him, and
The guns
I mean,
that
they
we can
can't-
find in the
yeah,
immediate.
in
Okay,
the
well, let's take
immediate
the
area.
guns in the immediate area, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
since
So-
he had keys on him. and
I agree with you.
that's-
We can't, going through any other place where we saw 2 gun safes, I think we're safe with those.
Right.
Searching underneath the bed and shit like that, probably.
But they've already searched this by now. So see, it sounds to me as if he was going to say, searching them were probably, I think the next words were not okay or something along that line.
What you will hear now in Deputy Murphy's own surprising words are his plans to defend the search of Hart's home and gun safe, as well as Hart's pending arrest.
And,
He's already talking about filing a complaint about it being in his house, so I just
Okay.
want you
That's
to,
fine.
whoever writes this up, to articulate their reason why.
I will supplement it and use very flowery language.
What is troubling about this case is that the deputies are going out of their way to create exigent circumstances that don't exist. That's an abuse of the exception to the Fourth Amendment rule, which says that warrantless searches of homes are flat out illegal.
They went out of their way to flower up, as they called it, their evidence.
But clearly the officers are struggling, and the officer admits that he's going to have to use flowery language in order to get this past a judge. But flowery language in the report is not going to overcome the facts in this case, and under skillful cross-examination, there's no way that these deputies can justify this search.
They made some really serious mistakes.
Here, deputies discuss criminal charges now necessary to justify their search of the gun safe.
No, we're going to charge him with yet. I was negligent discharge. I'd say 417 in the presence of a peace officer.
In the absence of a warrant, there's got to be some emergency situation. There's got to be some exigent circumstance that justifies this search. So basically what we're looking for is we're looking for some exigent circumstance that justifies intrusion into this home, and in particular, the intrusion into this gun safe. In this case, I think what you would have is you'd have the officers on the stand trying to say that there could be perhaps a victim in the gun safe, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you look at that gun safe.
In a comment heard only by the handcuffed Hart, his dog, and the open microphone, Deputy Terrell candidly minimizes the incident.
And in the future, if something like this happens, all you had to do, drop the rifle, put your hands up, listen to what we say, get checked, make sure things are cool, and we'd be out of your hair.
Even the deputies on the scene don't think it's a big deal. Nevertheless, Hart's headed to jail, charged with negligent discharge, brandishing at police, possession of a machine gun, and resisting arrest. Deputies removed 14 firearms and miscellaneous items from the Hart residence for safekeeping.
It was just like being robbed by criminals.
Deputies Murphy and J. Wells reflect on their behavior.
We are totally justified in everything we did.
I believe so too.
We have deputies that want to get in this gun locker, apparently because they're curious about the guns. Now the question is that really what we want from our officers? At the time that they broke into that gun safe, they knew all the facts that they needed to know to walk away from that situation.
Things didn't turn out very well for Matt Hart following his unfortunate visit by sheriff's deputies that warm spring day in 2008. But his life-changing experience appears to be an ominous prophecy of things to come in these United States. As judges continue to allow the piecemeal dismantling of the Fourth Amendment's probable cause clause, capricious and warrantless intrusions by law enforcement into private American residences are occurring more and more frequently. In February, a remarkable ruling by the federal Ninth Circuit Appeals Court in San Diego left standing a warrantless search of a suspect's home and prompted the court's dissenting chief judge, the Honorable Alex Kozinski, to make this comment. Our courts have approved without blinking a police sweep of a person's home without a warrant, without probable cause, without reasonable suspicion, and without exigency. In other words, with nothing at all to support the entry except curiosity. Hart appeared before San Luis Obispo Superior Court Judge Dodie Harmon in a preliminary hearing 3 weeks after his arrest. His first defense attorney, Greg Jacobson, told us in an email that he was, quote, laying the groundwork for 1538.5 motion to suppress, unquote, which he said would have been filed after the preliminary. However, Jacobson only handled the case through that hearing before passing it off to County Assistant Public Defender Patricia Ashbaugh. In a rare move, Judge Harmon dismissed 2 of the 4 counts against Hart, including the so-called negligent discharge of a weapon that brought deputies to Hart's home in the first place. Then, on advice from the public defender, Hart agreed to plead no contest to a single misdemeanor.
The district attorney threatened that if he had to take it to trial, that he would throw 4 felonies on me.
The sheriff still holds 4 of Hart's guns, including the one Deputy Murphy said he really wanted.
This is something that can happen to anybody at any time.
And it probably will. Sheriffs and other county officials declined comment for this report because Hart has requested his guns back. Hart filed a claim against the county. That claim was promptly denied. That was the first step in filing a lawsuit. We'll keep you posted. Veteran Police Officer Brenner thinks an eventual solution lies in the consciences of law enforcement top brass.
Your executive managers and your supervision, they set the bar, and they set the bar for the rest of the organization. And so if shortcuts are taken at the top, then it's very easy for line-level personnel to say, well, we can take shortcuts at our level as well. And that's a frightening thought, actually.